Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to show you how to beat the Daughter of Time. Now, in Guild Wars and PvP, you're going to see quite a lot of teams coming up using her because she's an absolute pain. Well, not so much she's a pain, but more hourglass gems and the way they work is a pain, because it just means a yellow match, a 3 match with an hourglass gem equals an extra turn, and it bypasses freeze, which is the real issue. But with her spell, she gains an extra turn at the same time. So bypassing freeze gives us a bit of a headache, because how can you stop a team like this? Because Celestial Flask, for example, this creates potions of blue, green, red, yellow or purple and gains an extra turn, and it can cleanse itself when it casts as well. Mistralis has an extra turn built in to her spell and deals damage. And Thrall, if it's a high level Thrall, it destroys lots of gems. When it destroys them gems, it's most likely to take out any hourglass gems which are on the board, which still counts. You don't have to match them, you can just simply explode or destroy them and you'll still get that extra turn, even if you're frozen on yellow. So how do you stop a team like this? Well, first things first, you may see this team in different classes. Like I've got this in Archer class because it gives it a 50% start, and also the extra problem of any skull hits have a 15% chance for skull damage to be lethal, an extra thing to think about. But you may see this in Elemental class as well, which is going to be really good, getting that stun, freeze, burn and entangle on the enemy for every single 4 match. But let's dive into a battle and just show this and show what happens if you give it a chance to get going. Now, Elementalist itself is a really good defense against the Daughter of Time. You get that burn, freeze, stun and entangle a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. So if you get that freeze going on someone like Mistralis, for example, in this example of this team who uses blue and brown, you still stop the team from looping if Daughter of Time doesn't cast and doesn't keep matching those yellow hourglass gems. But let's see what happens if we do give them a chance to get going. So I'll turn off, not that one, I'll turn off Snap Freeze, so we're not getting anybody frozen from the start. And let's just see what happens. I'll give them a chance to get going just to show you what can happen with this defense team if it gets a chance to get rocking and rolling. So I'm not going to purposely do anything to try and beat them or anything like that. I'll give it a chance to get up to speed. The AI is a bit daft sometimes on some of the things it takes. It should be just matching purple for Thrall. Right, and it should be getting going now. So let's imagine we had a really bad start and now this team has a chance to get going. Extra turns, she creates them, Celestial Flask, match that, Thrall blow up, get the extra turn. That's charged Mistralis. They've decided to do that instead. Should be using Mistralis, but she'll get an extra turn anyway. Thrall destroys the hourglass gems. And you can see how this is going to work. It's going to basically keep on going until we are absolutely wiped out. So that's what can happen with this team if you give it a chance to get going. I'll just let them wipe me out because that is inevitably what is going to happen. So starting off with Snap Freeze is a really good way of just giving yourself some sort of defense against this in the first place. Let's just let them do their stuff, have their moment of glory, and as you can see, it just loops endlessly until we are dead. This was the first time of doing this video and it just succeeded absolutely straight away, and I've tested it before. So yeah, if you give it a chance to get going, that's what can happen. So how do we stop it? Right, so let's do that again. But this time, let's make sure we have Snap Freeze turned on. So we get to free someone right from the start, and this is all we're doing at first, just with a Snap Freeze. And there's other ways of defeating the Daughter of Time as well, which I'll come to in a minute. But this is why something like Snap Freeze is still important. She's not entirely immune to freeze in all ways round. It's like one of her traits is immunity to frozen. So you get a stun on her, she's no longer immune to frozen. Yes, she can still cast her spell, but losing that trait will make her vulnerable. So we take these 4 matches when they're there, and we got lucky, we hit her straight away. She's now no longer immune to frozen. She's now effectively frozen on yellow and green. She's now no more useful than anybody else regarding that thing. So let's cast Infernus. The style will get to go, but yeah, didn't get to get an extra turn then. We'll get that stun, freeze, burn, entangle going on. There we go, we've got that. What else have we got? Can we do anything with this? Not really. I'll give him half a chance, I'll just take anything. But Mistralis gets her go. She was frozen. No looping. I'll give him a chance. I could take this for skulls, but I'm just showing how the 4 matches of Elementalist absolutely are a game changer. I'm not even going to take this skull match. I'll just let him do something. I'll just show how. Elementalist on its own can actually just change how good the Daughter of Ice is. And now, not Daughter of Ice, Daughter of Time, how it pretty much just stops her in her tracks. There you go, she got to cast. Didn't loop, didn't get the extra turn, she's frozen. Absolutely messes her up, a complete treat. And the AI isn't that clever as well when it comes to doing certain things sometimes. The good thing about this team normally with nobody being frozen is, of course, the way it works is it's just autopilot, like the AI almost can't get things wrong. It can cast the Celestial Flask when it shouldn't do sometimes, but with the extra turn, it normally, as you saw in that earlier example, just loops by itself. But yeah, let's start to maybe put them out of their misery a bit now. Because as we can see, like Elementalist on its own is a really, really good defense. To the Daughter of Time. Let's go a bit wild with Shegra. So, Elementalist is a really good way of stopping the Daughter of Time, but even then you are still relying on some 4 matches at the start, and hopefully you'll get those 4 matches and then you'll be in control of the game. But if you don't get them, you can still be in a world of trouble. But with that snap freeze at the beginning, you do actually stand a chance. Now there are other ways of going about stopping her as well, and another one of those is silence. Silence is a really powerful trait. When you silence an enemy, they can collect no mana and they can cast no spells. And with these troops here, we are covering all the different mana colours. Now, the Daughter of Time, typically she's going to be in 1st or 2nd place. You won't often find her further down the order than that, because she needs to get first dibs on her mana colours to keep casting and looping her spell. So with these troops here, we cover all the different mana colours. And over here we have other options at the same time. Other options which are particularly good are ones where you can actually target the enemy, like Parrot. Does damage to an enemy and silences them, and there are 50% chances to silence adjacent enemies. If you don't counter troops like Daughter of Time, sometimes you're just asking for trouble. Some players just like to play their strongest team and roll with it, but then you literally cannot complain when you get wiped to the floor with because you didn't do anything to stop someone like the Daughter of Time. Sometimes you do have to absolutely counter a particularly dangerous opponent on the other side. Now these troops here all have different benefits of how they operate with silence. This one does damage to an enemy and a random enemy, deal double damage if the enemies are silenced, then silence them. So you can target the Daughter of Time with this and you get a random silence on someone else at the same time. Silent one, using blue and yellow, silences everybody on the other side and himself. So really good. Satire Musician uses yellow and brown, does damage to the first 2 enemies, steals 2 magic and silences them. And String Fiddler, one of the best ones, silences an enemy so you can target the Daughter of Time, then it'll explode one of her mana colours. One of their mana colours is obviously yellow. If it does that, you've got a chance of taking out any hourglass gems which are on the board in the first place, and it gains an extra turn anyway. So String Fiddler, really good for this. So there you go, just a quick video on how to beat the Daughter of Time. I mean, she is a pain, but she's far from invincible. Elementalist, a really good way to go to beat her. Even Snap Freeze at the beginning, things like that. If it goes on another troop which doesn't use her mana colours, it will stop that endless loop that she can generate. And there's other ways like Silence as well. And even stuff like Essence of Evil, really good. Get a nice 50% mana start with that, get some green, chuck Essence of Evil on her. She's going to be absolutely nullified. She's going to be death marked, frozen, silenced, entangled, the whole shebang. She's effectively taken out of the game with something like Essence of Evil. So plenty of ways to stop her. She's great, but not unbeatable. There's a video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful or helpful, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.